Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Smackdown review with us, the Dynamic Dudes. No, it's not two John Laurinaitis. It's the British Fist.
Coaching.
Twice the men of John Laurinaitis, because there's two of us. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is the very cheerful NJ.
What's up?
With his rather dashing smile. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on this Smackdown down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the box below.
Yeah, so this was, I guess, the official go-home show going into Over the Limit, the Smackdown, and we started off this show with a video package of the main angle going into the Over the Limit pay-per-view, which is Johnny Ace versus Cena, and that led us on to our opener, which was, well, Johnny Ace, who basically doesn't agree with the board's decision, and should we say a prayer for Johnny? Please be fired. Please be fired. Please be fired. Yes?
Okay, you've had these segments on Raw. Laurinaitis taken over Raw, showing it more times than he should. Then on SmackDown, he comes on, and he's the first thing we see. It's a SmackDown-related thing. It's him on, I know it's a go-home show, but still, I wanted to see maybe Sheamus opening, something to do with the main event, to hype that up, not Laurinaitis. We had him covering Raw, so anyway, I was a bit disappointed to have Laurinaitis come in and do this again, just to talk about his match Over the Limit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Over the Limit, this is the main angle going into Over the Limit, the Cena versus Johnny Ace thing. They'd already announced the Sheamus versus Randy Orton match, so we didn't really need them to open the show to kind of hype it up, and that match was pretty well hyped up anyway, so I didn't have too many problems with Johnny Ace opening the show. Then you have a nice little surprise in CM Punk coming out saying that basically Johnny Ace has no chance against John Cena and he will be fired, and then Johnny Ace announced that Punk will be going one-on-one with Kane tonight.
Yeah, we have CM Punk come out to a Laurinaitis segment, and it's Laurinaitis and Cena going over the limit, but Punk has to come out every time Laurinaitis appears on SmackDown, and I'm just thinking, okay, you're using Punk against Laurinaitis, Punk against Laurinaitis, Punk against Laurinaitis. Yes, Cena's a Raw wrestlers, but so is CM Punk. Why not have Cena appear on this SmackDown and come out and make a surprise thing? Why did it have to be Punk? Yes, it's a fun match, but at the same time, I'm looking at this thinking, the Punk and Laurinaitis thing, yes, it's ongoing, but the main concentration, as we've just said, is Cena and Laurinaitis. So I was thinking, Punk and Laurinaitis is continuing, not really needed when the main concentration is Cena.
I must admit, having Cena there would have been a good idea, but I don't really have too many problems with renewing this whole CM Punk John Laurinaitis thing, especially when it's pretty much forwarding the feud that is going into Over the Limit, and it's also setting up our main event for the night. And I must admit, I really enjoyed the after promo when you had Johnny Ace saying, I work hard for the WWE Universe, and all I do is get crapped on, and I blame each and every one of you, and I blame you. I thought that was some of the best mic work Johnny Ace has done since he became GM.
Anyway, I don't think it was really needed. The CM Punk thing, when he finished at full stop, said what was needed, and it could have finished. Laurinaitis was there staring. I thought that would have been a perfect way to finish and move on. Having Laurinaitis try and take the spotlight away from Punk's finishing words and try and get the spotlight back on him, yeah, got him heel heat, but I don't think it was really needed. Not after what Punk said.
Oh, that last fight, that last minute of his promo got him major heel heat. I mean, I thought this was a good opener, personally. You've established the feud going into Over the Limit, even though CM Punk's involved, but that led to his involvement in the match later tonight. So I didn't have too many problems with it. And then the after promo, you may say it wasn't needed, but it got him a lot of heel heat, and I did think it was some pretty good mic work, so I can't complain there. I thought this was a good opener, personally. Just my opinion. Kofi and Truth had a match against O'Neil and Darren Young. This is interesting because, you've got two sort of semi-legit tag teams here, which you've been calling out for a while. You have Kofi and Truth beat O'Neil and Young in about 3 minutes, and you're just sitting there thinking, you just built up O'Neil and Young in a couple of weeks on SmackDown just to job to the tag champs in 3 minutes. And I'm thinking also, where were Ziggler and Swagger? Could they not have really helped maybe interfere to cost Truth and Kofi the victory so you can keep this momentum with O'Neil and Young, who are kind of like a potential heel tag team champions going? That would have been a good booking decision really for me.
Well, looking on Raw, you had the heel team lose, and then on this team, you had the faces win again. Yes, Truth and Kofi did not get the win on Raw. It was Brodus Clay, so it makes sense they get a dominant win this time, but their opponents weren't really the right choice, because then being a new talent coming into SmackDown, into the rest in WWE, and they have to lose their match in 3 minutes. It's not really. It's everything you built them up to be. Like, we're future champs, blah blah blah, and they've lost in 3 minutes. Yes, it's contrary on the pay-per-view. Got them the win they need for the pay-per-view, but you're not really done O'Neil and Young any favours here by being in a 3-minute loss match.
I will say this. If you're O'Neil and Darren Young and you're losing to their tag champs, you ain't making millions! You ain't making millions! Boom, 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 boom! You're making millions! I'll just leave it there. We had Damien Sandow come out to help all of us delinquents. And he finds himself in the same position last week, that he doesn't feel that a man of his intellect and his ability doesn't have a worthy opponent. Now, for the benefit of us, he decided that he's going to walk away and wait for a more formidable opponent until Yoshitatsu called him a chicken. That was funny.
With this segment, yes, it's...
Sorry. That was funny shit, man. Go on.
It's all about getting Sandow this heel heat, and it's working in a way because it gives Sandow what he needs. Because if he's going to become a heel in the company, he needs to take any tactic they can. And for him to walk out matches, yes, the crowd was booing, canned heat or normal heat, whatever way you look at it. But yes, Yoshitatsu called him back, but they could have made a match quickly out of that instead of just come in and attack Yoshi and that's it. But I'm not going to complain too much because we got to see Sandow do a move, wrestle now, so he's shown a bit of his ability in his heel heat. So I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was pink pants.
Oh, he's been infamous for pink pants in FCW. I love the pink pants. You know, like I said, Yoshi calling Sandow a chicken. That was funny shit. And then you had Sandow attacking Yoshitatsu to get some heel. You know, it's nice to see we're finally seeing him in a ring, not in an official match. But all I can say is hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Ah, we've finally seen him in the fucking ring. Thank you. Zack Ryder had a match against Daniel Bryan this week on Smackdown.
I look at this and you've got one that's in a pre-show match. Yes, it's not that important, but he's going against someone that's in a much higher stated match. And obviously we knew who was going to win just because the highest of the wrestlers now. Ryder's gone down, Bryan's gone up. There's not really much to this match. It was pretty much going to lean Daniel Bryan's way throughout the match anyway. I
mean, you had Daniel Bryan get the victory here. I'll say this, WWE, please cut it with the canned heat. We can hear this crowd cheering through the canned heat, but you had Bryan win via a submission, and then that kind of led us on to the next match, which was CM Punk versus Kane, which you had Daniel Bryan on commentary for. So it did have a little bit of a purpose. It did seem like a sort of pointless match, but then when we saw this segment, it kind of moved Daniel Bryan on towards the commentary table. The hour main event was CM Punk versus Kane. Pretty good match, I thought.
Well, to get Bryan from a match to the announce table in a creative way like this worked, but it was in the defence of Zack Ryder, not really the best idea. But again, Bryan's got a win. He's at commentary now. This match, it was a match I wanted to see if Kane wouldn't beat the clock challenge, but I'm glad that we're getting it now because this was a match that after Kane's run through certain wrestlers, Cena, Orton, and now Punk, it's something I wanted to see. I'm glad we got it. Yes, it's not a pay-per-view, which is kind of sad, but overall the match was really good. One of my favourite matches of the night, just because of how well it went on for, how well they performed, and just the story of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan on commentary.
And also the story of CM Punk trying to overcome the monster, which is Kane. I thought this match was pretty well booked. You had Kane look pretty dominant, even though he's only in a pre-show match, which is bullshit. And you had the match ending in a DQ when Daniel Bryan hits Kane with the chair, so Kane thinks that Punk hit him with the chair, and then Kane pretty much decimates CM Punk. So you make CM Punk look vulnerable, which you need because he is the face champion. You made Daniel Bryan look like a very smart heel in that sense, and you've made Kane look like a monster. So you've achieved 3 things there, as well as hyping up the feud going into the limit. So in my opinion, this is a very, very effective segment.
I like this. This is, like I said, one of my favourite segments of the night. Because obviously with this, it's kept Kane looking like a monster. Like I thought they were going to go downhill with this match. Proves that it may still be there. And now it's picking Kane to be Punk's opponent. Is showing there's some power still in Kane. And the way it finished, it definitely left us believing that obviously Kane destroyed Punk, leaving Bryan thinking ready for the match. He's weak, he's got broken ribs and all this. So it's definitely warmed up for the pay-per-view match. And I just thought this segment was great for Over the Limit.
Even Danny Bryan on commentary was pretty good in the sense he was like, that he's not going to heal from that over the limit. That isn't going to heal over there. That was some funny stuff, man. We're going to the Santino versus Cody Rhodes was a champion versus champion match. Before we go into this, I just want to say look at Santino and look at Cody Rhodes, and you kind of see what a real star is going to look like in Cody Rhodes and what a sort of joke Santino is. I just want to say that before I move on to this match. Surprised it only got 2 minutes and that we thought this could be a pay-per-view match,
That
maybe?
was the thing, because with Cody being, like we said many times before, uprising star, he needs these pay-per-view matches. The fact that they took away Big Show, and now they're taking away the possibility of Santino to have this match on Smackdown, it's kind of a sad thing, but at the same time, the fact that this match, which could have happened at Over the Limit, only got 2 minutes, I'm kind of glad it did not happen at the pay-per-view because of the result.
Yeah, I mean, Santino got the victory, as we know, and of course, as a Rhodes fan, I'm pretty pissed off. Well, I think this is going to lead to this match being on the card because Cody Rhodes is going to want to get revenge on Santino, and then Cody Rhodes will get the win at the pay-per-view. That's what I feel will happen, possibly. I'm just trying to look at it from a long-term perspective here.
Well, even if it does happen, Cody Rhodes lost to Santino in 2 minutes. Who's Cody Rhodes pissed off backstage? Because he's not his booking since the last pay-per-view hasn't been great.
No.
So I don't know who he's pissed off and why they're doing this to him, but at the pay-per-view, he should get his payback, but at the same time, he still lost to Santino in 2 minutes.
He did in 2 minutes, and it was a bit embarrassing for a Rhodes mark such as myself. Interesting that they didn't have Ryback or Brodus Clay on the show this week. Ryback is on this streak at the moment, and you'd maybe expected they could have fit in a squash match. I know we usually just don't have too much to say about the squash matches, but if you're going to try and push this guy, you want him squashing a guy every week? Or do you think that no Ryback helped the show this week?
Well, with Brodus Clay getting a stupid win on Raw, I think he's had his moment, even though it was in the wrong kind of match, because it was meant to be the tag team win there. Ryback, on the other hand, I think he needed a match, because I'm pretty sure there's 5 matches at the pay-per-view. There's going to be a squash match, and Ryback's probably going to be in it. But the fact that he's not had a match on these go-home shows is not really good for him. So I think he was needed for at least a part of this match.
I mean, you need him to squash a guy every week if you're going to sort of like continue this solid streak and, maybe, I don't know. I thought that Ryback should have been on SmackDown this week. If they're going to go all out with this guy, put him on SmackDown. Brodus Clay, not so much, but he'll probably make it as a pay-per-view. So will Brodus Clay. Probably be our 2 filler matches. There's only 5 matches on the damn card, so we need to have 6 matches possibly. So we need some filler matches. Ryback and Brodus Clay will be the sort of likely 2. We also had a video package for this whole Big Show segment, and there's one thing we do want to address while we're talking about this. The Big Show segment last week was one of the biggest drawing segments in a while. I think it drew just over 1 million viewers, and even though we said it sucked, and it did suck because it was very boring, it still drew a lot of viewers, didn't it? Which is interesting, really. A segment we thought sucked, the majority thought didn't, and I mean, it just kind of shows that sometimes us smarts probably don't know as much as we think we do sometimes.
Other than that, WWE could people thought that was boring. Let's just make the ratings look a bit high for that, just so we can we're doing the right thing, so we know what we're doing. No, WWE, that segment was boring. If you replay that again, like, let's say Over the Limit, we have to watch that video package again. Boom.
It will probably lead to Big Show having some involvement in the John Laurinaitis match, maybe getting involved, turning heel, possibly helping John Laurinaitis to get back his job. So that's probably what they're setting up here. More on that in our preview tomorrow, though. A main event of the evening, and it got quite a lot of time. Sheamus versus Randy Orton was announced on Raw. They built it throughout the night with video packages. They had some interview segments in there. So this was the main event, and they built this up as a good main event. And this was a rare sight in WWE. You get a 17-minute a very good main event TV match.
17-minute, and all they concentrated on was Sheamus and Orton. There was no Del Rio once again. On Raw, he had nothing. Jericho didn't even make an appearance on the ramp, Titantron, and announce table. So, to be honest, 17 minutes of those two, it's like WWE saying these two are the ones to watch out for the pay-per-view. Forget about Del Rio, who did that thing last week. Jericho, yeah, he had a match on Raw and all that stuff, but he just didn't have much importance. The main focus is Orton and Sheamus, and that was my downfall for this match. Yes, it went on for 17 minutes, but in that 17 minutes, you could have fitted in a bit of Del Rio and a bit of Chris Jericho.
Especially when you have a 4-way at the pay-per-view. I must admit, though, I'm trying to look at this from a positive standpoint. Sheamus versus Randy Orton got good 17 minutes. It was a very good TV main event. But But like you said, where was Jericho? Where was Del Rio? You wouldn't have thought there was a 4-way at the pay-per-view, would you, really? And the match itself, I mean, it was obviously when you give these guys 17 minutes, they're both pretty good workers. They can put on a good match. And, you know, it's in the match that they were kind of like battling over who was the top dog of SmackDown. I ain't selling for you, now I ain't selling for you, I ain't selling for you, I ain't selling for you, brother. It's kind of reminding me of the Hulkster versus Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania. And Sheamus didn't really sell that shoulder injury very well, which has been taped for like the last sort of 3 weeks.
No, and the thing that screamed out in this match, especially after the match as well, that Orton is screaming out heel. His promo screaming out heel like, I'm the bad guy, you're just showing you how good of a good guy you are. The things he did in this match, the things he did after the match, it's really screaming a heel. So I look at this match and think, yes, the match was going as two bases, but I always see Orton as a heel. So this match was face as a heel, and they just went off with Sheamus picking up the win, which was surprising because obviously Orton's the guy who the WWE seems to love, but giving Sheamus win over Orton is a good thing for him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're kind of maybe trying to tease the Sheamus versus Randy Orton feud, possibly the two top dogs on SmackDown. You know, Sheamus, like you said, won with a roll-up, which was kind of surprising. And, you know, this was a really good main event match. Yes, you didn't have Jericho or Del Rio in there, which to me was a bad booking decision, as you do want to at least show them two on the go-home show going into the pay-per-view. But overall, I was pretty happy with how this main event... I'm just glad I got a SmackDown main event which was entertaining for once, because we don't get many of those.
I do agree, it was entertaining with these two guys, and it was good because they're warming up for the SmackDown's main event, which was good that the whole concentration at the end of SmackDown was for their main event. It's just that I feel quite a bit was missing to it, and it was just mainly concentrated on these two top wrestlers instead of the match itself. But overall, I was satisfied with what we got at the end.
It shows you who WWE really think very highly of. The two, one member of the Breakfast Club, one is probably sneaking in there at some point. But it does look like they're probably trying to tease a Sheamus versus Orton feud, maybe after Over the Limit. My only issue is, you know, you're giving away a match here for free on TV, which probably should have been done at a pay-per-view. But hell, I can't complain. I got this for free. I'm pretty happy about it. So, what were your overall thoughts on the show then tonight?
Pretty satisfied. It did give us stuff that I agree with because it led towards the pay-per-view in some way, but some things just weren't done in a way that I agree with. Maybe it was just done in an appalling way, like the whole Laurinaitis and Punk thing. Maybe Punk wasn't the right choice at this moment in time because the concentration is Cena.
Our main event. Yeah.
Our main event.
Good.
And that was the good part. That part of the main event did it all for me. And Cody, Rhodes, and Santino, there's other bits, but just some parts of it didn't really feel my liking of this show. Yeah,
I mean, I thought this was a pretty good SmackDown. I think this is the best SmackDown we've had in a while. This is probably the most entertained I've been by SmackDown. I thought the opener was pretty good. The Our main event was pretty good, and the main event was also pretty good. Looking at it from a different perspective, and I think this show did more to hype up the pay-per-view, even though some of the booking decisions, of course, with SmackDown weren't very good. It still did more, in my opinion, to hype up to Over the Limit than Raw did, which was an incredibly boring show. At least this show entertained me, which is why I'm going to give this a B. I mean, this is the best SmackDown I've seen for a long time now. Some of the booking decisions, but as an overall show, it entertained me a lot.
You could say that. I'm going to give it more of a C plus B minus, just because yes, it did things for the pay-per-view, but just maybe not in the strongest way possible for me.
Your opinion and my opinion. Now we want to know your opinions on this, guys. What did you think of SmackDown down in the comment section below? And also, what did you think of Randy Orton taking the bell by the bull of the horn and RKOing Sheamus in the middle of that ring to assert, I'm the top dog on SmackDown, brother. Get your comments down in the comment section below, of course. And now I'll hand you over to the right and honourable MJ.
Okay, people, all I can say is that this SmackDown has been something to talk about, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Tune in for our predictions video, which is on Saturday. And until next time, people, from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, till next time, goodbye.